And we're going to do something a little different today than we've done. The four teachers, myself, Jim, Catherine, and Matt, met, I think it was about a week and a half ago, and just thinking about how to take the group forward and what we should be doing. And we decided that we're going to experiment with starting to coordinate our talks around a topic, because we've been getting some requests for people who'd like to learn more about the philosophy, what's behind this. And we're going to keep the coordination by intention very loose, because we feel like one of the qualities is the variety and the difference of the people teaching here. So we're going to maintain, don't expect anything too organized. And again, that's what we hope that's what we intend to do. And we're going to start a new series of talks on what are called the Paramitas, and I'll talk about that. It's going to be for the next 7 classes. The overall format's not going to change. We're going to try to keep the talk short, though I fear today I may veer from that, not by intention, but maybe by lack of tuning my talk enough. But we'll keep the focus on the practice of meditation most of our time together. But there'll be an opportunity for those that want to stay around after. And if you're able to, we can talk sort of further about that, the topic. So that's the idea. And, this group has been practicing together. I think it started last March, if I have my dates right. And it's been quite a journey, because it's been so shaped, I feel, by the pandemic and then the political crisis. It's been these sort of themes going through this group, because everybody it's just been so impactful for everyone. And then about a month ago, someone in the group, I think it might've been Susan, but I'm not sure, said something like, this has been really helpful for me, but don't we need to do something to help others? And it was such a perfect question, and it felt particularly timely with some of the changes going on in the country and so many challenges. It just feels like the world really, really needs our help. So the talk today and this whole subject of the Paramitas is, how do we bring this peace, this goodness, this decency that we've experienced in our meditation, how do we bring that into the world? And in a deep, not so much in a Band-Aid kind of way, but in a deep systemic way. And so we're going to talk about, traditionally they're called the 6 transcendent actions. The Sanskrit for this term is paramitas. And para means gone beyond, and mita means arrived. And so you could translate it as having gone beyond and arrived. And meaning we've gone beyond the shore of attachment, anxiety, anger, etc., to the shores of sanity, peace, kindness, and goodness. And these are practices that take us from our ordinary world of conditioned existence into the other shore of awakened heart. And there are 6 paramitas, and these are things you do. And I'll talk a little bit about what that means. And by the way, you may find if you study and read about this, there's also a group of 10 paramitas, but we're going to go with the 6. I think for good reason, actually. And those 6 are generosity, ethics, patience, joyful effort, meditation, and wisdom. And they're translated a lot of different ways because they're kind of subtle. And just really briefly, the practice of generosity loosens our grip on the things that we cling to. And this includes material generosity of giving of money and sharing food and things like that. But it also includes, you could say non-material generosity, like providing freedom for fear for those who are afraid, giving freely of our time, things like that. The second is sometimes translated as ethics, sometimes translated as discipline. And basically this means, a very high level refraining from actions like lying that cause harm, but also engaging in actions and creating conditions that are helpful for you and other people. So we start to bring some discernment from our activities of, and not feeding our own confusion and not feeding other people's confusion. And then even stepping further and creating, intervening because of the connectivity and power we have with others to create good conditions. The third is patience, and they actually come out of each other. There's an order here, and out of ethics comes patience. And this means relentlessly pursuing our actions of helping others, no matter what their attitude is towards us, not reacting out of irritation and fear. And patience is the antidote to anger. Could be a good one in these political days. The fourth is joyful effort, sometimes called diligent, sometimes called exertion. And this is just a sense of never turning back and being willing to apply yourself with both a sense of diligence, but also a sense of joy to helping other people. There's no kind of notion of sort of grim determination to make things happen no matter what. And the fifth is meditation, and this is the maturation of our mindfulness awareness practice throughout our life, and we train the mind to be stable and strong. And the final one, wisdom, is a little different, and they're grouped differently. And this is through our joyful effort, our patience, our ethics, our generosity, we start to develop a profound understanding and clarity and understanding of what's the nature of our mind and how does the world really work. So this is very non-conceptual wisdom. And that starts to guide kind of our actions. So they start to become very effective and very skillful. So the talks for the next, including this talk, for the next 7 classes, I'm just going to simply give an overview. I'm not going to go into further detail about each of the paramitas, but each of the teachers and other meditation guides each class will cover one of those 6. And it's a very rich practice, actually, and you can apply them both at a personal, local, and national level, or even to infinity and beyond. And at a national level, you could think of the paramitas, when a group creates, maybe the other political party from wherever you stand creates problems for others. Instead of reacting to their aggression with anger, you just remind yourself that they want to be happy, but they're confused and they don't understand the connections between their actions and the seeds of suffering that they're planting. And so we've talked a lot of this, but not responding out of anger and kind. We're not creating further problems. But it can be very ordinary in daily life. And actually, I think it's some ways the best way to start. And I want to read a quote from a teacher of mine, Tokotunda, from his book, The Heart of Unconditional Love, that I think speaks to this. And it's actually a quote from a great teacher, Atisha. Actually, no, this was from Tokotunda, if I'm wrong there. And it's about gardening, how to apply them when you garden. Now, I realize January is not exactly gardening season, but that's what the quote applies to. You can apply it to anything. So when you garden or do any daily activity, imagine that you're doing it to bring joy to infinite beings, visible and invisible. Do it for them without attachment. Then it becomes the perfection of generosity. Be the best gardener you can be without strain, while staying peaceful. That is discipline. Happily put up with any challenges while staying calm and humble. That is patience. Give your time, energy, and skill wholeheartedly and joyfully to the gardening while being able to let go. That is diligence. Focus on your gardening calmly and fully, remaining in the loving kindness nature of the mind. that is meditation. Garden with full awareness, with no or with less grasping at this or that, that is wisdom. Now it's said that if you practice these paramitas, it's actually a full path, and it could lead to full awakening. So this is not just about, this is really about changing deeply embedded systemic habitual patterns we have. And so with that, I think we should meditate.